Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Andrew. I'd like to tell you a story.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Now, the United States was about to experience its biggest naval defeat in history. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor was less than 13 hours away. Ron Mitchell is at Pearl Harbor, and tomorrow's going to be an emotional day for the survivors there, Ron.
Yes, it is. Tomorrow will bring back some terrible memories for those people. But today was not so somber. As a matter of fact, there was applause and there were cheers and alohas all along the canyon of hotels along Waikiki Beach.
Let's remember Pearl Harbor as we did the Alamo.
It couldn't help but put a flutter in the hearts of many people as the men who tried to defend the island that Sunday morning marched past.
I haven't done like this since the boot training.
It was raining, Hawaii-style December rain. Few people bothered with umbrellas. You get wet here, you'll dry off, it's not a concern. And it certainly didn't slow down the enthusiasm as the men marched.
Saturday's 50th anniversary of the Pearl Harbor attack is opening a floodgate of memories for survivors now living in Colorado. Scott Sobel reminisced with one old sailor whose bravery a half-century ago kept him alive, but not without physical and emotional scars.
Skill with a .50 caliber machine gun like this meant the difference between life or death for a young Englewood sailor a half a century ago. Bill Legg used the weapon and won a shootout with a Japanese pilot, attacking a U.S. air base just north of Pearl Harbor.
They're bad memories. To this day, I can remember everything that happened, just like it happened last week.
Bill's arm took a shrapnel hit after a bomb landed just a few feet from him.
The concussion was so great that it picked me up and I landed flat on my back and it knocked the wind out of me.
Medics sewed up his arm and Bill ran out to defend the air base.
Ernie Johnson, the third-class ordnanceman, said, "Hey, Legg," said, "you had experience on these guns. Come on and man this gun. The fellow that was on it just got killed."
Legg grabbed a .50 caliber machine gun and started blasting at the Japanese fighter. The fighter pilot fired back. They were like two boxers slugging it out toe-to-toe. But the sailor's aim was true.
And I could see his eyes. He looked right at me and I looked at him and he was grinning, and just about the time he got overhead, a big puff of smoke come out of his airplane.
Just a few years ago, Bill and his wife Iris visited the exact spot where the Japanese pilot crashed and died. A plaque is there.
And then when he'd go to bed, try to sleep, he'd have nightmares.
Bill Legg won't join other survivors in Hawaii for the memorial ceremony Saturday. He'll be home where there'll be more talking, more catharsis, and glimpses of an old picture decorated with a Japanese bullet from Legg's personal combat on December 7th, 1941. Scott Sobel, 7 News.
Colorado's Pearl Harbor attack survivors are holding a service this Saturday at 11 in the morning. A special salute is set for the east side.
And this, my friends, is where the story ends, at Chapel Hill Cemetery. So my grandpa didn't tell me a lot of things about what happened on December 7th, 1941, but he did tell me a couple of things where he was when it happened. He was out washing his clothes on the docks when the first bomb struck, and told me a story about his friend that got killed, and one of the turrets on the ship was busted off, and he picked it up and shot down a plane with it. We can cut to a scene. He actually dug the bullet out of the person and made a necklace out of it for my grandma. And we'll cut to that scene now.
A bullet from a downed Japanese plane helps remind Bill Legg of December 7, 1941. It's not a bullet from just any Japanese plane. He believes he's the one who shot it down over Kaneohe Bay on the north side of Oahu.
Yeah, that was a highlight of my day when I saw him crash.
Legg says he saw the plane go down behind Kansas Hill and saw the plume of smoke from the crash. A year and a half ago, Legg returned and was surprised to find a marker on the spot with the pilot's name. It upset him to see it.
I couldn't understand why the United States would allow something like that, a monument, to be built on a military base.
Legg looked at the pictures of his family, children, grandchildren, and praised that December 7th and 4 years that followed made the world better and safer for them and other generations to come. He doesn't care if the Japanese ever apologize. His feelings will be the same.
I think the reason that doesn't make any difference to me whether they apologize or not is to this day. I have no sympathy toward the Japanese.
You see the tears in his eyes? Those tears were there through most of the interview. It was incredibly difficult for him to talk about it, and he, as a matter of fact, didn't talk to his wife about it or anybody until just 5 years ago, and it shows you the intensity that is here in Pearl Harbor tonight.
Like I said, he didn't share too many stories. I don't think he really wanted to. But what I know, growing up with him, he was a hardworking man and took care of his family. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, Ron, we'll look for your reports tomorrow as well. And one quick question now. There's 30,000, did you say earlier today, survivors that are coming?
30,000 survivors and family members that are here, who are here. And many of them will be trying to get a glimpse of the president. He arrived a few hours ago. He'll be here tomorrow with the ceremonies.
Ron Mitchell, thanks very much. Ron Mitchell at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii.